Hi, my name is Carrie. I'm a vintage dealer and a comedian, and this is my first thrift haul video. I've been watching a lot of thrift haul videos, unboxing videos while I've been home during quarantine, and I've decided to make my own. So I sell on Etsy. I've been selling there about 10 years, and I also sell on Mercari for about 9 months. I mostly sell vintage clothes and jewelry, but recently, since I can't go thrifting as much, I've been kind of experimenting with some new items, especially now that I can sell on Mercari. I don't know the designers as well, but it's a little trial thing. If worst comes to worst, I might, in a couple months, just take it all to the consignment store and maybe send it into ThredUp. So I mostly source at the bins, but our bins have been kind of switching it up where during quarantine now, they let 37 people in at a time, and they have all the bins out, and basically every 2 to 3 hours, they replace all the bins. So you're not getting new items for at least 2 to 3 hours. So I still go about once a week, but I just don't find as much because there's not as much. But I totally get why they're doing it, and I'm just happy they're open again. So I've also been going to thrift stores more, which I used to just do kind of for fun, but the bins are so much cheaper. I also source jewelry online, which I'm still doing, but it's also gotten more expensive because everyone's doing it. Here is my haul from Friday. I only had about an hour, so I knew I had to kind of be quick in each store, only about 20 minutes, and I mostly just looked at the women's clothes and kind of browsed at other things too, and I'm just going to go in order of what I found. So here is the first item, which is a denim romper. It's like a vintage little romper. It's a large, which is great. It's in great condition. I didn't find any flaws, but whoever was the previous owner decided to put some snaps in, which I totally get if you're large-chested or small-chested. Sometimes the V-necks like this flop on open. But they sewed it pretty bad. They did a pretty bad job, but it looks exactly like how I would sew it if I were trying to do that. And they're also plastic, so they don't stay shut. They're hard to shut. I photographed it with it in and listed it, but I should probably just take them out. You don't see the snaps. It's in an underlayer, so if I take it out, you won't see any holes. But I was being lazy. The next item I found, I actually don't have because I already sold it. It was a new item. I've been trying to buy like one new item each trip, just to experiment. And it was the designer Antonio Milani, which I believe is just exclusive for Dillard's. So I bought it, and I was kind of unsure whether I can get it. It was on sale. It was 40% off. It was still kind of expensive. I think it was $7.99, which is more than I like to spend per piece. But the fabric was really nice. It was it was a jumpsuit. It was ankle length. It had cutouts. I'm like, this is going to be my one new item. It looked expensive, and comps were fairly good. I got home and I realized there was kind of a pool that I didn't see. It was very small and towards the ankle. There was also, I thought it was surface dust, but it looks like, I don't know what it is. I think it's maybe from an iron. But it was really light, kind of gray color, but it already sold. It didn't sell for as much as I was kind of hoping when I initially bought it, and haven't seen the flaws, but I got $35 for it, which did include shipping, so it wasn't a great profit. After that thrift store, I didn't find a bunch, but it's a smaller one. I went across the street to a thrift store which has really great items, but they do have really expensive prices. Somebody marks it up. It's very inconsistent, but somebody definitely marks up the vintage and some of the brand name items. But whoever the vintage bro was, he was not working today. Because I found this amazing Tutankhamun LACMA 1978 original t-shirt, scoop neck, baby tee, single stitch, all that good stuff. And it was just at the end of the rack. They definitely just put it out. It was $1.99. I was so excited. It's got very little damage. There's a pinhole in the collar you can barely see, and there's a very, very, very light mark in the back, which you also can't see. And it's amazing. I love it. And I went to look it up. I mean, the Egyptian stuff in the there was Tutankhamun fever going on in the late 70s. We had a book about it. They basically toured the museums with the Tutankhamun mummy all around America at all the big museums. We had a book about it when I was growing up. I remember flipping through. There's also a big Egyptian revival jewelry set that came out that they sold at museums. And if you ever find it, it's costume jewelry, but it's still worth a decent price, even though it's not any precious metals. So yeah, this is a t-shirt brand is Action Tee. It's labeled a large, which is ridiculous because it's definitely probably a small or really an extra small. I mean, the one I'm wearing now is an extra small, and this one's a little bigger than that, but could work on a small or an extra small. But I love it. I put it at $125. It probably won't sell for that. Oh, another great thing about it is Joe Cocker actually wore the same t-shirt in the men's version in blue, and there's a famous photo of him in it singing, and he's all sweaty in the pits because he was a sweaty man. And people actually do make reproductions of this for a lot that were licensed. They're selling, new for $50. And I've never seen, I could find a couple of the men's shirts, but I've never found, when I was looking online, a women's shirt. So pretty rare, needs the right buyer, but I'm just going to keep it for a while. Don't mind having it in my closet. And if it doesn't sell in a few months, I will lower the price. The next item was my regret item. I feel like when you're shopping, there's always one item you regret. And this was this one. It's a really great item. It's a dress. Love the print. It's like a floral, Victorian-esque rose print. It's almost got, it's homemade, but it's kind of gunny sack style. Great dress. It's beautiful. The only problem is it's drop waist. And I never buy a drop waist dress because, they're just hard to wear. You just have to have the right proportions, and so it's really hard unless you try it on to know. So I bought it. I think I was a sucker for the fabric and the kind of lace details, and the fact that it's a larger size. The t-shirt and a couple other things I bought that you're going to see were all small. So I was excited to kind of just have a XL piece, but I don't know if it'll sell just because it's just a hard shape unless you try it on. So, but I think I could take it to a consignment shop if worse comes to worse, maybe Buffalo Exchange. Although after I brought it home, I'm like, I might have seen this at Buffalo Exchange because that thrift store actually gets the rejects. So I don't know, but I'll keep it for a little bit. And if not, I'll just lower the price super cheap and unload it. I listed it for pretty cheap. I think I listed it for like $29 with shipping. This next item, I decided to circle back to the t-shirts because I kind of only look the women's t-shirts because the men's t-shirts, they definitely charge too much. And I found this cute vintage 80s nautical v-neck, kind of a shorter cropper. It says the SS Oceanic Independence. I looked it up. It was basically a very old ship in Florida. At first it was just a steam engine, and then maybe it was a steam. It was a ship. And in the 70s and 80s became a cruise ship. So I bet this is either from the cruise ship staff or maybe one you could just buy from the ship. I like the colors. It's like got that red, yellow, blue primary colors, nautical. It was a little more than I would normally pay. It was something I'd pick up at the bins, a little more than I would normally pay, but I was just trying to get some stock so I could list. It was $4.99, and the other t-shirt was so cheap. I'm like, all right, averaged out $3 a t-shirt. I'm hoping it'll sell. Nautical stuff usually does well, but times are different right now because I feel like nautical stuff does well because people like vintage nautical for their vacation. Kind of resort wear, you're going to the beach or going to Cape Cod, you might want to buy something like that. So I don't know. I think it'll sell eventually. I just might have to hold on to it till next season, but it's also my size. I could wear it. It's cute. It looked good with high-waisted jeans. So that was all I found at the first two thrift stores. The last thrift store I went to, I found this amazing LL Bean 90s preppy hunting jacket. You can see the old LL Bean label. It's got these quilted. You can cinch it on the side. I almost didn't buy this because it was $7.99, but it was 25% off. And I have a quilted LL Bean vest in my closet, which is not sold, although I got it towards the end of the winter season. There's just a lot of the quilted LL Bean vests online, so it's pretty saturated. I got that from the bins, so it was worth it. I can put that at a consignment shop. If worst comes to worst, or bring it to a clothing swap with friends if those ever happen again. So I did get this one just because it's the more preppy look. It's not the shiny sheen fabric. These go for a little bit more. There's only one online that I could find, so it's not super saturated. And if worst comes to worst, I'll wear it because I think it is cool. But this one might take a while. It might not sell till winter, but maybe they'll sell before. The last item I found is this vintage Disneyland book. Disneyland, The Inside Story. I'm more ride or die Disney World since I'm East Coast, but I'm from the East Coast. But I understand Disneyland was first. I mean, Disney World's bigger, but I get it. Disneyland was first. Vintage Disney stuff does so well. I mean, people just, it's timeless. It's going to sell probably quickly. I bought this for $5. It was $10, but it was half off. I haven't looked at the color tags yet, so there's some other books I passed on that I wish I would have gotten, but I'll probably go back there. The books don't sell fast. I don't always pick up books unless I know, like art books I know will sell for a lot, or if it's a really interesting, unique topic or something occult, witches, astrology, kind of 70s occult as well. But I knew Disneyland would do well. This is from 1987. There are a decent amount online. This is the first edition, but there's a lot that sold. This will sell. I have it for $65, and I bought it for $5. So I'm really happy about this. I like to pick up books too, because I can kind of read them too. Here's the last item I want to show you. I actually got this at the bins last week, but I just love these. It was all wrinkled. I actually just grabbed it because I wanted some fabric to tie around my cart so no one would steal it. But this is a tie. It's a, I'll try to get so they're from, I think, around the 40s. A lot of them made in Japan. A lot of them are, Japanese silk. I have no idea how, I love these. I was actually got into these because I was searching for those kind of Western 50s clip-on ties, which I love, that are like more like a bow. And then the same company that makes them makes a lot of them from the 50s with like really fun prints, also makes these tri-ties. But I have no idea how you're supposed to tie these. I've seen, they're still listed online, but everyone kind of styles them differently, and I'm just not sure. I can't find actually any vintage photos of how people actually wore them. So if anyone knows, I see some people just kind of are tying them like just a loop, like that, which is fine, but it just doesn't like lay right. I'm just not sure. It doesn't really show off the pattern. Some people do them like bows, but then there's no way to attach it, which I could do it in a bow and sew it and add like a clip-on tie and backing to it, but that's not the way it's supposed to be worn. I see some people who also do it. I think the way that makes the most sense is some people do it with scarf clips, so it'd be like that. But anyway, if anyone knows or can find a vintage picture or just has any knowledge about how to wear these tri-ties, I'll probably try maybe a brooch or a scarf clip, or doing like a little tie. I wore it the other day, did a tie, it just keep coming undone. So it's kind of like that. But I was so excited to find one, especially these days. It's hard times at the bins. Anyway, hope you enjoyed my video. Hopefully I'll make another one soon, or I'll be embarrassed by the way it came out and I won't do it.